Well, seems like it's that time again for some good old Hillary Clinton slander. So, what provoked the creation of this video was a slew of tweets that I just so happened to run into from Hillary Clinton's Twitter account. Honestly, at this point, I'm still not sure how these tweets ended up on my timeline. After I make this video, I'm going to do a thorough investigation to ensure that that never happens again. Okay, I don't monitor Hillary Clinton's Twitter account. That's not how I saw these tweets. It was just on my timeline, and I, dug a little bit deeper, and this is what I found. So somebody by the name of Shantae Berry tweeted out a video of Hillary Clinton, and this was the caption: "For those praising Bernie Sanders on proposing to lower the age eligibility for Medicare, it was actually then First Lady Hillary Clinton who came before the Senate back in 1993. Take a look at the video.
Of sickness. But President Truman's pleas for health security fell victim to the politics of the day and scares about socialized medicine. Dwight Eisenhower came before the Congress in 1955 and said that health insurance could be improved by expanding the scope of the benefits provided. John F. Kennedy proposed expanding coverage to the elderly and the mentally ill. By the early 1960s, both Presidents Eisenhower and Kennedy could not say that their hopes of health security had gone forward, but instead they saw once again the familiar sight of a dream of health security being stalled by outside interest groups and partisan bickering in the Congress. Then came Presidents Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Jimmy Carter. There was progress made on Medicare and Medicaid. President Nixon came forward with a comprehensive health care reform proposal that built on the employer-employee system. President Carter proposed a number of advances, and particularly Mrs. Carter championed the cause of mental health benefits. They, too, envisioned reforms that would give Americans more health security and our nation more economic security. But like their predecessors, their efforts and their hopes were not realized. So here we are in 1993, 50 years after the chairman's father introduced the first legislation. We are still wrestling with many of the same issues and the same problems that previous generations have worked on. The difference is that today our system has many problems that have gotten increasingly expensive, and the difficulties of delivering health care in a cost-effective way is making a challenge to the fiscal integrity of the federal and state governments, to businesses, to individuals across the country. Now is our chance to beat the historical odds and give the American people the health security they need.
Now, that would have been fine and dandy. This video would not have been made if that were all. But no, Hillary Clinton quoted that tweet with the eyeball emojis as to insinuate, like, yeah, you tell him, internet person, yeah, fuck Bernie, stick it to him. I was arguing for this back in 1993. And some astute individual saw this and screenshotted that and screenshotted Hillary Clinton's video and put the two beside each other. And in 1993, Bernie Sanders was saying that health care is a right, that everybody deserves health care. He was arguing that everybody deserves health care, and she was arguing for the expansion of Medicare. I sense a difference here. Do you? This is typical centrist neoliberal bullshit. Okay, and they always use this weird flowery wording. If you listen to the video that I just played, it's, we need to expand the bounds of the values and ensure that the American people have more health care and that they're secured in their employers and all this bullshit. Instead of just coming out saying, okay, we're going to do Medicare for all, everybody's going to have free health care at the point of service, and we're going to pay for it through tax dollars. Something that every other developed country has somehow figured out how to do. But over here, it's, as you heard in that video, socialized medicine, and it's somehow bad. Man, I tip my hat to the people that made that a thing. I mean, God bless us. You know what I'm saying? In every other developed country, they have this, but here it's demonized as socialism, communism, and if we somehow get it, this country will fall apart. And I mean, they can't out left Bernie, so they stoop down to these sort of needless, aimless, and just childish attacks, you know, to say that he's arguing for something that she used to argue for. Let's talk about it. So Bernie's saying that they should lower the Medicare age. He is, but the criticism of him needs to come from the left. It needs to come from the left. Why is he coming out and saying go from 65 to 60? I think that's his position. If Bernie was smart, which he is, believe me, he would have came in at 40 or 45. Why? Because don't come in at the compromise position. That's the compromise, 60. If you come in at 40 or 45, you might get 55 or 50, or maybe even 60. But see, now all they have to do is scoff at you and say, nah, we're just going to keep it where it is. You see, you got to come in swinging in order to get what you want when you're dealing with these ghouls in Congress, and Hillary Clinton is definitely one of them. And I also like how in that video she says, Richard Nixon did, I think it was Richard Nixon, she said, did a commendable effort to, expand people's employer-based healthcare. People don't like their employer-based healthcare. If we actually had a Medicare for All system, it would save the employers money because they then wouldn't have to fund their employees' healthcare plans. And the idea, the simple idea of a healthcare plan, to me is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. Why should there be a plan for healthcare? The plan should be, let's guarantee everybody healthcare, free at the point of service, paid for through tax dollars. That's it. What plan is there? Like, okay, let's go through the plan. So, all right, if you get this type of cancer, you're good to this certain point, but then you got to pay. We got you on the liver, we got you on the lungs, but no spleen, no arteries. We can't get the spleen and the arteries. We can't cover those. But everything else we got. Oh, the kidneys too. We can't cover the kidneys. So kidneys, spleens, and arteries we can't cover. But the heart, the lungs, the liver, all the rest, we got you. The gallbladder, you're good. But kidney, spleen, and arteries, we can't cover that. What is that? That makes no sense. And all of this is dictated based upon how much you can pay. If you can pay, you get the health care. If you can't pay, you don't get the health care. But that's just strike number one. Okay? I kept going because I'm a nosy guy. And I came across this. She tweeted out a CNN article. Peace in Afghanistan must not lead to Afghan women losing hard-won rights. This is what she had to say. Please read this important op-ed from Afghan negotiators on the stakes for nearly half of the country's population. So, for those of you that don't know, Joe Biden, at least nominally, has said that he wants to pull out of Afghanistan and officially end the Afghanistan war that has been going on for 20 fucking years. And of course, the establishment, military-industrial complex, and all those that love the war machine are coming out and saying why we shouldn't do this. And this basically is an article that's basically out. It's pure propaganda, okay? To say that if we pull out of the war in Afghanistan, women's rights, something. Bullshit. Get out of there. Strike number 2. And strike number 3, she tweeted out another article. This is from 4 days ago. The new evidence linking Trump's 2016 campaign, this is her words now, campaign directly to the Russian government is not surprising, but still appalling, as is Trump appearing to sit on intelligence of that link. Glad we now have a president who will stand up to Putin. So, number 1, she's still denying the 2016 results. She got her ass kicked by an idiot who was a former reality TV show star. Like, get over it, dude. Get over it. And number 2, she's prodding for Biden to be more hawkish toward Russia, which basically elevates the possibility of the U.S. going to war with Russia, and that's a nuclear war, which means the end of humanity. Strike number 3, you out. What a shit human being. Look at this. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I just came across this by chance. By chance, I came across this. Trying to take credit for, back in 1990, 93? Yeah, back in 1993, I wanted to lower the Medicare age, while the guy that she's shitting on was arguing for Medicare for all, as he always has been. I guess it really depends on your politics, but I would like to ask you, the viewer, would you rather just, assuming that your politics align with mine and those that are progressive and, you know, want everyone to have guaranteed health care as other developed country does, which saves money, okay, trillions of dollars, I might add, over the course of a decade, okay. 45,000 to 65,000 people die every year from lack of health care or inadequate health care. But, you know, to the centrist Democrats, let's just expand coverage and, you know, expand security, all a bunch of flowery bullshit instead of just telling you what it is. They're beholden to big pharma. They're beholden to the health insurance industries. They're basically a bitch to all the big corporations and healthcare industries and the military industrial complex and all the rest. But I must say, the best thing about this, the icing on the cake here, is that if you espouse these sorts of thoughts and beliefs and these sorts of criticisms, most importantly, of this person, like I am right now, you're sexist and you hate women and all the rest. You know, I mean, it was done to Bernie, his supporters, and many others that have threatened, that have dared to criticize the likes of Hillary or anyone else for that matter. I mean, they did it with Neera Tanden, her crony. But anyway, this is nothing new.